Welcome to Spotlight Gulf Coast, a weekly showcase of people and events across South Mississippi. Sponsored by the IP Casino Resort and Spa, Mississippi Power Company, Gulf Sales and Supply, and Butch Osterlet Autoplex.
Hi everyone, this is Todd Trenchard, Executive Director of the Baco Foundation of South Mississippi, welcoming you to another segment of Spotlight Gulf Coast, right here on WXXV. Each week we're coming into your living room talking about what's going on all across South Mississippi, and we want to thank our sponsors for this generous opportunity. One of those sponsors and a good friend of ours, of course, Michael Sunderman, and Michael, seemed like you were on just a few weeks ago. You were.
I was, yeah. I recall, yeah, I was.
But we were talking about, again, this is before our big event, the fashion show, Renaissance the Runway. We're getting a little closer now. I wanted to sort of revisit back, how this whole idea came about, because a lot of people, we talk about ideas, and sometimes the ideas you start off with grow into something else.
Absolutely.
And I remember when it was originally, brought to my attention by Kim Rasmussen. I said, that'll never work. That's silly. Get to work. And of course, you've seen this thing turn into something that's, really become something everybody's looking forward to.
Well, absolutely. We start off with a handful of models, a handful of local boutiques.
Right.
And now we've got 90 models and more than a dozen or 20 boutiques involved this year.
Right.
We start off with a small crowd, and now we'll have 600-700 people in the crowd.
Right.
That's tremendous growth. And every year we've increased the charitable giving of the show too, which is really why we're doing all of this.
Yeah, and I think that again, the original idea was to teach somebody how to walk to a piece of tape. Remember those little practice sessions that we have?
We did it in the Elvis Suite.
We
at
did
the Gulf
it,
Hills Resort.
and we had them moved around to different locations, and it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
Who wants to be first? Nobody wanted to. It's real difficult. You walk.
Yeah, it's tough. Our models are local business leaders.
Right.
This is not their full-time job. Certainly they're attractive people, but most of them never been on a stage,
Right.
never spoke in public or walked a runway before. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but they get through it, and at the end of the day, they have a blast doing it. We thank all the models for helping out.
I know that I've got that picture of the original, I don't know what you call it, inside the studio where we're all there posing, making funny faces and stuff. And I think I was up on stage because we were doing something, and they took the picture. But, to see that group, you still have some familiar faces that are still doing it, all these years later, and they've been in every show and been a part of it. And then others, they've gone on to other careers or doing other things and been replaced. But like you said, to see how this has grown, and now it's almost Jolly-esque with the golf tournament. People look forward to it. By the time you announce it, it's already sold out.
We had plenty of tickets left over the first couple of years, and now we've had meetings every week at the office, and we're sold out. 60 tables, about half of those VIP tables. Mm-hmm. That's a testament to how much this event has raised the awareness and how many businesses get involved now. And it's incredible. Mary and I at South Mississippi Living Magazine are just thrilled to be a presenting sponsor here because it does two really cool things. Number one is charity, which we're all about that, helping nonprofits. But it takes small businesses, which is what our magazine really, really pushes. Shop locally, small businesses, boutiques, and it just highlights them. It gives them a really great format to show off a little bit. And I love the fact that they discount the clothing, and they'll let the models buy it back for pennies on the dollar, which is great too. So just thank all the sponsors, thank all our models. It's a great show.
It really has the potential to really grow into anything. There's so many different ways that you can grow this. I think when we turn this into a community project now, where we've got 15 nonprofits that are benefiting in the room. They're bringing their supporters, and they're involved. You're there letting them raise monies for themselves. I mean, you really have a template for success, and it's not about I think we put a lot of emphasis on how we were walking the runway. And a couple years ago, we started getting a little looser. And last year, it got to where it was fun.
Yeah.
And now you really don't have anything to worry about. It's really whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fun, you know, to see people improvise. A lot of that success goes to the MCs. You know, David Delk is just a master, and Jonathan and David work so well together.
Absolutely, yeah. Jonathan Brennan, yeah. They really set the tone for the show. And, you know, I don't want to use the word irreverent, but this is not a stodgy fashion show coming out here.
Right.
Again, we're using local models, business leaders, and they walk out and they poke a little fun at them, but just or tell some stories about them that maybe people don't know about them. So anyway, we highlight the clothing, we highlight the models. Everybody wins on this thing, and our MCs are the two of the best we could get.
Now we're gonna we got another segment where we're gonna talk a little bit. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scene, and a lot of that work people don't even know about. But it's getting to the point now where, with a couple weeks to go, it's on. It's nonstop. I mean, you know, if you're like me, I'm a guy that puts on events with golf tournaments. I know every little detail. I'm starting to get that way with fashion show. It's starting to scare me a little bit. Like I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about things that I would have never even thought about, you know, 5-6 years ago. But it does take that kind of planning, and you put on the best event that you possibly can, because it is who you are, and that's what you are. If you're not in this thing to put on the best event you can, you're in the wrong line of business.
Yeah,
and,
but yeah, you're right. I mean, anything from you know, ticket sales to raffle tickets to decorations to you know, organizing all your models, organizing all the boutiques, practices. There's a lot of moving parts on this thing.
Well, if you don't know how to delegate, then you're in trouble.
Well,
that's probably one of the hardest things I have, is to trust and delegate.
Yeah.
But you learn very quickly without doing that. You know, you'll drive yourself insane. You can't thank enough behind the scene Terry, of course, on staff, Terry Freitas, doing a lot of the, you know, I guess, entering things, keeping track of this, putting things in my pocket, telling me to do this. And of course, Amanda has been a great addition. She'll be on the show in just another segment. But it's not just our staff. It's a lot of volunteers. It's your board of directors. It's, you know, you've got people on your staff that are doing work behind the scene, because there is so many little things that go into this. And we're going to talk about that on the second segment, because, again, that's how you build a community. You get people involved. You let them put forth their best effort. And I sometimes got to sort of pinch myself, you know, what's next? I always said I want to do a circus, but I'm not sure that that would fly. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're talking with Michael Sunderman. We're talking about Renaissance and Runway. We go back now, what is this, 7th year or 6th year? I get
6th year, I think.
6th year. And again, this is an event that's sort of changed sort of the landscape of how we can bring together boutiques with local models. So don't touch that remote. We're going to be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're, of course, joined by Michael Sunderman. And Michael, you've served on our board of directors now for, you know, a long time. You've been a part of Baker McCarty, really, what, the last 10 or 11 years, I know, and probably longer than that. And we've done a lot of things together. We've been able to, through the magazine, like you said, bring Jackson County with Harrison County closer together. I can remember back in the old days getting Eminent Bank on the cover, but then we also got into some social issues, talking about Home of Grace. I mean,
terrific team.
Unbelievable. Some of the things that we've been able to partner on over this career of ours, but it has made a difference, because it has brought out ideas that nothing we do is unique. Others are going to start doing that. Call it copying, whatever.
Yeah.
It's what you want to do. And our community is really strong because of it. You just had women in business, and I know this is your largest issue with it. I remember when it first started. I know it's grown, and each year it just can't get any bigger. Well, it does.
Yeah, we probably doubled that special section, Women in Business, which is a tribute to all the women-owned businesses or women-managed businesses along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So we had just think it's 244-page issue in September. And then we hosted a great party at Hard Rock Casino, gave away some great prizes, did some question and answer stuff. It's just a great way to say or recognize all the great women leaders we have on the coast. And by the way, they're taking over. So
They are.
Yeah. We're going to be extinct. Men are going to be extinct on business soon. So, probably so.
Maybe so. That's okay.
But
I'll be at the house.
It's a great issue. I hope everyone picks it up. I hope everyone reads it and thumb through there and read all the profiles on all these women that are making a huge difference in our coast here. It's really strong to read all that.
I know that, the power of, it also empowers the person that's in the magazine. It makes them feel better about themselves. I remember the first time I was in a newspaper. It was a little thing, but
Yeah.
it was big.
Oh, yeah.
And then, today you sort of take it for granted. But this is a big deal. This is a big deal for, a lot of people don't get that opportunity. And it is because of vision of somebody that we, just to click it. I mean, the things that you'd have thought, oh, well, that's, but nobody had done it. And so.
Not here. It's been done elsewhere before, I guarantee it. But when one of my reps, Suzette, came to me with the idea, I said, you know what, that could work. And we had already started doing Meet the Doctors, and that was a huge success. But this women in business thing, in fact, I just got a call from one of our businesses that we use to mail out all the copies to, and we are so big, we went over the 1 pound rate. So once you hit a pound, you can't mail first class anymore. You've got to mail priority mail too. So that's a good problem to have.
I know that, I'm bringing all this up because, Renaissance Runway was on a trajectory, but it went through the roof when we were on the cover. I remember it clear as day, Marlo on the cover of the magazine. Next year we had, some familiar faces on the cover, and you saw the power of what that could do and the reach that it bring. The next year you didn't have any problem selling it out. They all started, and that revs an idea to now a responsibility to carry out.
Yeah. So the first cover, you call that building brand awareness, and now we're building that brand. And every year, Mary and I donate 6 to 8 pages after the show to run photos of every single model. And listen, that's a keepsake edition for them as well.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier, how often do you get to be in a magazine, and featured magazine, a glossy magazine? And so they appreciate it. And it's a tremendous boon for our readership too. It's probably between that and Meet the Doctors, our most popular issue by far.
I know that I go in restaurants and I see on the wall, articles that have been written, and they take it with pride and they put it up on the wall, and they got a little, I think that's sort of neat. I did it with my, I've got them in my office. Every time I'd be in a magazine, I would, make sure I got a nice frame and kept it as a keepsake. You look back at that and you realize, again, it makes you feel better about yourself, what you're doing, keeps you going. So great kudos there. Now, this event we've got here coming in a couple weeks. It's fast approaching us, and a lot of work that has to be done, but I know I'm excited about it because it's going to come off, because I've worried a lot more than I'm worrying right now. I think the unknown is always that sort of thing, that it's an opportunity. And it seems like every year the gods come in at the last second, and because I'm like,
yeah, but I know you worried, and that's your job as the head of the Baco Foundation. But in reality, people walk out of that show just thrilled, and the models walk away, completely thrilled and happy that they're to be invited, number one, and then to be involved and walk the runway. It's a huge day, and like I say, we've turned this event into a must-see show now. It used to be, before we put you on the cover, tell me again what this is, why you want me to donate, to what are we doing, to can I get 2 tables? Can I get 3 tables? And we're sold out. I mean, we're doing a lot of airplay, but we're sold out, which is great. I mean, all the heavy lifting's done. Now we just got to pull it off.
And we will. I feel very confident with that. And you can't thank the boutiques enough for the time that they put in, because again, they are in, we just brought up this morning, homecoming season. So they're not just on us. They're dressing a lot of other people and, to fit us in. The vendors that come in and donate, Cheryl Goodgames, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I mean, Dara, for doing, the graphical, or the graphic designs. I mean, there's so many like that donate to help save cost or because they just want to give back. And
the IP.
Yeah.
In addition to the big check.
Let's not forget about the IP.
Yeah. In addition to the big check they give us every year, which we appreciate, they're donating a lot of decorations and sets and stuff. And that really saves us by instead of outlaying it ourselves. And all that goes to the bottom line, and we make more money for the kids.
I know we were talking also, we got a bang up sort of crowd. We got the heads of banks in the room. We've got multiple gaming institutions with some of the owners, the top people in the room.
Huge industries up and down the coast are going to represent there.
And that's good because, again, what we're doing is a night of philanthropy. Maybe they'll see something they'll bring back to their organization. Hey, we could do that too. And there's nothing makes me feel better than somebody that sees our idea, taking it, and then running with it. Hey, that's part of your legacy to do that. So, Michael, can't thank you enough. I know that you put a lot of time into this, but again, it's what we do. And after this, we'll start thinking of our next event. And it never seems to stop, but it's good.
We'll have a bourbon night coming up, right? We're working on the planning stage for our bourbon night here in Gulfport. We did one in Pascagoula at the Jury Room, and it was a huge success, sold out, packed event. So we're going to do one here in Gulfport too. Okay.
Well, I appreciate coming on today. Last second.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with Amanda. We're going to talk a lot more about Renaissance Runway. So don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Of course, we're joined now by Amanda Ray. And Amanda, you're becoming, a staple here on the TV show. I know you're excited about that.
I really am. It's great. I enjoyed it every time.
Some people like it, and some people like, I'm not going on TV. In fact, I think we had a guest we're not going to mention.
We won't mention any
was
names.
A little scared about that, but there's nothing. I mean, this is a great way to get out things that we're doing. Let's talk real quickly. You've now been with us 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's been sort of a nonstop whirlwind. You learn a lot.
Right. Every day is different. I learn something new every day, meet new people. It's just been a really great experience. I've been able to, through the foundation, I'm able to go out to the Home of Grace and do weekly aerobics classes with the ladies. So I'm really focusing on forming these relationships with all these nonprofits that the foundation supports, as well as backpack buddies. I was able to support backpack buddies at the YMCA through a summer feeding program with Jill. So just so many different things. Every day's different, every day's new. But what I love about working for the foundation is that, you get your hands dirty. You're in the thick of it. I'm out there, doing volunteer work as well as creating those relationships in the community.
And that's what you got to do. Wear different hats during the day. It changes all through the day, and you have to improvise a lot. Days are not going to come at you like you maybe thought, and you just sort of move in another direction. Events sort of force you into that mode.
Right.
But coming on and then into a major fundraiser, this is, it's a big event and a lot of moving parts. It's not just a sit down and it happens. There's a lot of little things going on, and it's a good learning experience. It has been for me, and I've been in this a long time. You learn some things that work, some things that you need to, and some of your limitations. And you put forth your best effort, but I know this has sort of been an eye opener.
It really has, but it's been great. I mean, there's so many moving parts with the event being at the Biloxi Civic Center this year, but every day there's a new challenge, something new pops up that we think about. I mean, it keeps us on our toes, but like I've said before, we've got a great group of board members, volunteers. We're going to pull off the event of the year. It's going to be full of energy, fun, and ultimately the main goal is to give back to the community, to raise funds, to give out into the community, and just make a difference in the community.
I think that's the most important point, is that, this is a good time, but we want the people that are coming to the event. Most of the people coming to the event are the guests of a corporation or an organization, and they're coming to a fun event that they can give back in some way. And if we're promoting philanthropy, that's what I've done my entire career. I'd love for you to give to Baco McCarty, but if you give directly to the organizations we support or to the United Way or to the
Right.
wherever you give, you have a stronger community. And
Right.
we've always been that way. I've been to a lot more meetings where, hey, it may not have matched what we do, but I'm going to tell you where
Sure.
it does.
Right.
And that's a responsibility that we have. And I think that light bulb will go off,
Right.
Through this event.
Well, what I love about our fundraiser as well, Renaissance the Runway, there's so many different ways to give back. Not only buying tables, buying a ticket. We have the raffle coming up.
Mhm.
Great way to give back, as well as the silent auction. We've got our nonprofits that are putting on our silent auction. Duchess Club is putting that on and manning that for us. So there's just so many ways that night that you can give back and make a difference in someone's life.
Mm-hmm. And we're still looking for volunteers.
We are.
So we certainly would love for people to come forward. We'll be using a lot of the Home of Grace men to come with some of the logistical setup, takedown. Again, I can't think of a better event. You've got the decorations down, the food we're starting to get down, the program will take care of itself, and before you know it, the event will pass and we'll move forward to the next event. But you set a standard.
Right.
The best effort you can do. And, again, as long as you put forth your best effort, hey, that's enough.
Right.
So
I agree.
I've always said that. People can always do it better. Just go for it, and I'll learn from that and I won't repeat the same mistake. You talked about the raffle tickets, which we have right here.
Right.
And, this has been a tremendous, benefit with us. Jill Compton Appliance and Son has donated a very nice outdoor piece of furniture valued $7,500.
Lifetime furniture, they call it. So.
And they partner with FEB Distributing, and you get a lot of craft beer with that. Second prize is going to be an IP staycation, which we'll put together a jam-up staycation. And then $500 cash. I saw some people fighting over that one last year. And but this is, again, 100% of these proceeds go to scholarships.
Exactly.
That's the most important thing we got to stress, is that every one of these tickets is going to be $100 in the community for somebody.
Right.
And if we can raise $30,000, I mean, how do you
That's
put
huge.
a price on a kid's education or a kid's
Exactly.
opportunity to go to school? So it's really, I always like to say, our events have so many in-kind donations that people do not understand just how, enormous they can be. I mean, we've always done that with the Jolly. Our
Right.
prizes sometimes are bigger than most people's golf tournaments.
Right.
I mean, they're just, we've put a lot of effort into that behind the scenes. So we are also going to have some, logistical things in that we're at a new facility. We need to let people know.
Right.
The Biloxi
Civic Center. But we are very fortunate to have the IP's help this year. And Nicole, Kim stepping up. They're helping us with the decorations. Really, it's going to be beautiful. We're so very fortunate to have the help of the IP, as well as David Delk with ABC Rentals. He's donating some beautiful decorations and some other things to help us out. So it really is amazing, all the moving parts that come together, but all the people, like you said, in-kind donations that are coming together to support the foundation and to support that night.
And on that same note, Tasha McGinn, when I called her,
Yes.
I asked her to be the DJ, and I know she does that as a side job. And she said, Todd, I love to do this, no charge. I want to give back. And, it's that type of, person we have here in South Mississippi. You couldn't pull off things like this in major towns. They look at you like you're from another planet.
Right.
If you ask them for anything. And I think that's what makes us so unique down here. We've got a lot of events that are going on during this time. And, before you know it, you're in the fall and then the Christmas season, and we're doing this all again. So
All over.
again, it's very exciting. It's exciting to see the team working together. People are showing up, they're meeting behind the scenes, they're taking on responsibility for their little area.
Right.
And I think the most important thing for us to do is to oversee it as the quarterback and sort of just let them do what they're doing and trust that they've got a good plan. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate all the help that you've been giving us.
I enjoy it.
And we appreciate everybody's support of the Baco Foundation of South Mississippi. We couldn't thank you enough for your support. Again, Renaissance Runway, that's going to be Thursday, September 22nd. You don't want to miss it. Until next time, this is Todd Trenchard and Amanda Ray saying so long, and may God bless.